Change of plans. Leave nothing alive.
Yo, what's up my fellow occultists? Ike here, and today we're going to continue with the Broken series, and this time we're going to go over Nova. In the Kome update, she got a pretty good buff, very sizable buff with all of her different additions, like being able to now be a Svova and a Slova all in one without even needing to change your build. The wormhole's getting a little buff, the ability to recast your first ability, and some other good stuff about her. Really good overall, and in this, I'm going to show everyone here all of what my build for her, how I made her to be pretty much unkillable while just doing some insane damage. It's pretty satisfying. Alright, so to start, let's go over Nova's abilities. Her passive makes it so that enemies killed while slowed down has a 15% chance to drop a health orb, while enemies killed while sped up have a 15% chance to drop energy orbs. This passive is meant to synergize with her fourth ability, which I will go over here in a second. It also works well with instances where you have a means to convert it, like from either Purple Archon, Shards, or Equilibrium. So for her first ability, she has Null Star. This ability is her main source of survivability. When she casts it, she'll get a number of particles that'll give damage reduction for each particle, with a max cap of 90%. The number of particles that she has, or she gains from this ability, is dependent on her power duration. The damage reduction she gets per particle scales off of strength. On top of the second part here, where when she gets near an enemy, an orb will seek them out and hit them. And that damage done will be also gone by strength. And the range in which they go is a range. Antimatter drop. That's Nova fire off this kind of slow-moving projectile that you can fire into. It'll absorb the damage taken and then multiply it and then shoot it out at the enemy when it explodes, dealing massive damage, especially when you have a stronger weapon. The third ability is Wormhole. After casting this ability, Nova is able to go and make a portal where she can walk through and it'll teleport where she was aiming when she cast the ability. Very useful, it goes a set number of charges. Also, one thing to note about Wormhole is that it can also teleport projectiles. Her last ability, which is like her best ability, it primes all enemies. Basically, this big AoE that slowly expands outward. And while they're primed, if you press the ability button, it'll slow them down. If you held the ability button when casting this, they'll be sped up. They take 200% more damage, and when they die, they will explode, dealing massive damage to all the other enemies around them. It makes very good chain reactions, and most people, it's very versatile and useful for almost any situation. Now for her build. So I ran this Nova after doing some research, and I was doing some things. She definitely is reliant on a duration for a lot of her stuff, so you want to have her a little bit higher than normal. But I ran just based prime continuity. You don't need an insane amount because all her abilities are relatively good with like this 150 to 170. If you want to go higher, you can run other things. If you don't want to run these augments, you can run more duration. It's up to you. However, I prioritize more into power strength because power strength allows one for my subsume, which is pillage, to get to at least 50%. You want to have at least 200%. It also allows molecular prime to do more damage when enemies explode. Also, much higher slow. The max is out 75%. Null Star also giving more damage reduction per particle means that you can get. I need less to get the maximum benefit of 90%. And with my current duration, I still get 20, so that's plenty for what I need for this build. Range, pretty good. So, range I keep neutral because I don't. It's somewhat good for this build, or for Nova. However, it gets kind of annoying when your range is over 10 meters on these things, it's because they start just attacking everyone and then it doesn't refill that fast and you have to keep recasting it. It's kind of a pain. So I keep it at 100 neutral. If all my fishes should see I ruin because of her line rage, but that doesn't matter because she's energy efficient. Or she's good at energy economy thanks to Arcane Energize and my use of the purple Archon shards here. So, with that being said, I run the Archon flow, not because of the second part, but because my prime flow isn't maxed, and if I had to max it, I'd have to start forming a bunch of Warframes to accommodate it, so I decided against it, and I didn't do it. So this is what ended up happening. I run Archon flow, and I'm chilling on it. Now, I ran adaptation because the damage reduction stacks, keeps her alive much longer, and just growing power from my thing here because I like more power strength. I can get a very high amount very easily. I could probably get closer to like close to 300, I believe. Yeah, 350 power strength, which is massive. These Dumbrel mods, because obviously when you for a health-based frame like this that also wants power strength, you just run these. It's just common sense there. And then here's the fun part: the 2 augments. They changed Neutron Star. This used to be an augment where it allowed you to recast your ability. However, now that she's been given that in her base kit, they changed it. So now that it now just allows guaranteed heat procs. That also scales off power strength, which makes it even better. Also, when you recast the ability, it'll make all the remaining orbs attack everyone around her, or target enemies with doubled range. So it's like this combined with molecular fission, which primes enemies hit by the null stars, and doubles as a means of constantly regaining more from killing. Makes so I have to recast less, or if I want to recast, I always have max cast. So it turns into like a mini prime, or a mini molecular prime just by recasting it. It's very good in my opinion. I really like it. Or it could just blow up anything regardless. So that being said, this turns this into a kind of new assault ability. And I will show off what I mean here right now. So let's see. Let's pause our AI and let's spawn more. So let's turn this on. You see how it now targets them like that? And doing all that, we'll do that. Recasting it will cause them all to keep reseeking enemies. And you see, without even casting anything else other than my first, it's actually doing good damage. Yes, this is very nice facilitation and damage. When you're like, when you say fire at them, while also primed, giving them that 200% damage vulnerability, everything else you do will just kill them. It's insanely easy. And let's try this, but with the armor strip from Pillage. You see the damage being done here? Even better damage, especially when you full strip. Because now the actual those heat procs are doing big ticks of damage. And they also explode too, so if they're group dip up a bit, they die. So, first synergies, doesn't matter what weapon you run, as long as you have at least one that does big like burst damage, like let's say the Chlorophyll or the Archoplasmor, because this orb here takes a set number of shots before it's launched, and you can't put any more into it. So things like a machine gun like the Soma does not really work. Also, from what I'm seeing, from my tests, it doesn't factor in crits. So something with high base damage as well make this much better. So this has pretty decent high base damage. And we launch it in. Yeah, they're pretty fully armored here, so let me strip them real quick. So let's get rid of most of their armor. So let's do that, right? And let's try it again. Boom, boom. And now we just launch it. Erased. Anything that doesn't have like that much armor will just get erased by the ability entirely. And if you have things like they're primed from the 4th ability or from the 1st ability, they just implode. There's not much they can be done about it. So now, lastly, For the Archon shards, I ran the purples for like a mini equilibrium. I ran a red shard for duration. You could run 2 if you don't want any of these, but these are just for like comfort for me. So I ran parkour velocity, the yellow shard, because I like being able to jump around while being super slow. And then I ran the maximum energy so I can keep some consistency from the beginning. Not necessarily needed per se, because you could just have other energy sources that do it for you. But I just like having this. Being able to just cast that and then probably launch a pillage or a prime or whatever. Again, probably not that needed considering you don't need any of those abilities per se at the right to start. So it's up to you. It's very much of a preference what you want to do with your build, what you want to do. It also looks nice and aesthetically for me. The pet I run is this cat, the infested Panzer, and I give it synth deconstruct because 1, the Panzer will give a lot of viral, which this build does not give naturally, so it's another damage buff, and this will help, since it hits so many targets, it helps better proc synth deconstruct, which will give me extra health orbs, which translates to more energy at any given moment. So it makes it overall very potent in what it can do. So, with that being said, that is everything I wanted to share about the Nova. I do apologize because this is a pretty late game build. I could make like a earlier game build. It would probably be like some base for early game players. You just want to make your build for power strength, duration. Doesn't have to be insanely crazy, and you just want to have some ways of keeping yourself alive. Like, let's say, like armor if you don't have adaptation or something. You can even just run like vigor or something, because the orbs will do a pretty good job keeping you alive, even through Star Chart. As long as you have enough power strength too, you just won't die. And if you don't have augments, and you can't get them, I'd recommend more duration or power strength to you. So with that being said, that's the end of the tutorial and stuff on how to build her, everything. So for the next part, I'm going to just go into a mission, and I'm going to show off the build and how potent it is. So if you don't want to watch that, this is probably where the video will end for you. If you want to check it out, I hope you enjoy it. But if you don't, I hope this video was very useful to you, and I hope to see some more people running a build like this. You don't have to, but definitely it's one of the best versions of this Nova. So that being said, I love you guys. Have a great day.
This is it. Use the key glyph and get ready for whatever happens next. We ain't done! Local threats are triggering a security override. Grab the hook and step out the door. Until you knock them out. You're made of stronger stuff than me. And it's out. Let it out. find the burrow and Winter's in. Kill that!
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.